Which is the best RBI play for the day? Can we find a winning streak move itself to 18-0? You're going to find it out here on Bases Loaded here on the Sports Money Network. Let's have a big Thursday.
A huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged.
What up? Welcome here to Bases Loaded on the Sports Money Network. If you guys are new to the spot here, what we do is we go through every game. We try to look at a side, a total, a prop, something, and try to give you guys some usable, helpful information here. We love to use tools, technology, and blend our expertise to help you guys make informed betting decisions. And I tell you what, everyone talks about AI creeping up and taking over, but I think we were the first to do it. Everybody kind of fought it for a long time, and it was so foolish. I remember talking to this one curmudgeon who was really a stay off my lawn guy, and I go back, I do it old school. And I was like, yeah, but dude, you're just inefficient and ineffective going forward. Everybody else is doing more with less, and you're spending your entire day grinding through the card trying to find one spot out there. And that's why we can cast a wider net and make bigger money here. Now, yesterday is a little bit of a disappointment across the squad here. We had a great Tuesday. Man, the Tigers blow it. And you know what's messed up? Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. How many times are we going to see that story play itself out there? The Padres lose to the Mets. It was 2-1 for the longest time. I will say this, Kodai Senga has some fire walkout music. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but you know, you're going to have to go check it out on just Google Senga walkout music. It was a little faster paced than I was expecting, but I get it. Can't be slow beaten out there. The Braves dumped I think it was an 11-0 trend out there where they had not lost a game all season in the third or fourth game of a set. So they did get their second sweep against them of the season. White Sox came down and shut out the daytime afternoon Cubbies here. Just a really difficult spot of opportunities here. Afternoon baseball was just not kind here. The Phillies did beat up the Marlins. Sandy Alcantara takes his loss. The Yankees beat up the Orioles. 5-3 the Giants. Oh, man. It's like they're messing with me. The Guardians, I fade the Guardians the night before, and the Giants come out and beat them 1-0. It's like, if you got a good thing, just stay with it here. But does that make the Guardians team off of a sweep an opportunity to come, or off of a shutout, a way to come back here? The Reds came back on the Cardinals, of course, toasted by under 8.5. The Jays get busted up early and climb all the way back to lose 7-6 to the Tampa Bay Rays. I did tell you guys, though, that was a run line, money line trend. So the money line lost, but the run line won. The Royals come back to claw it out against the Athletics. The Mariners take down the best team to win off of a 6 or more shutout. That was the first time that's happened in like 7 years out there. We did have the Nats first 5. The Angels blew the first 5 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Colorado Rockies and Dodgers game stays under the total. Can you make this up? No, no. But the good news here is that we are now into week 2 of preseason football. We've got the PGA rolling here. We've got UFC, got college football just a couple weeks away. I'll tell you what, for my winnable subscribers, I am going to share my NFL futures. I've got them here. I was going through them. Some guys had asked for them. So what I did is I created an account. I put a couple $100 in it, and I've got about a handful of futures that I will share with you guys. I've got one team to win I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 teams to win the AFC, one team to win the NFC, a bunch of season win totals, a couple player props in there. Summer vacation's over, man. We are here. In fact, you can tell it's over because I started looking yesterday and I was like, man, I'm getting a little Trump-esque Feeling a little orange here. We like orange. Orange is good. Some would say it's great. But anyhow, we're going to get after it today, you guys. This is baseball oriented here on Bases Loaded. So if you haven't done so, you're just jumping in here live or on the replay. We have afternoon baseball. You can smack that thumbs up button, show some love. Comment below if you're going to tail or fade any of the selections I share with you guys today, and we'll get to work. My guy Shuck gets the day off today. He had his birthday yesterday, so he has been tearing up the town. He's got family in town as well. So we had a discussion and said, you know what, just enjoy the day, man. Enjoy it. So we hope he had a great birthday. It sounds like he did, in fact, have one of those. I had a pretty good night myself. I had a couple not twisted teas, some spiked Arnie Palmers, and watched some evening baseball. I watched little WNBA as well. Probably. So I shared what was my disappointment across the card with baseball. Sorry, guys. I'm just typing in these show markers here because I forgot to do that. But of all my disappointments yesterday, I shared baseball. I had Bryce Harper for an RBI. Aren't they pitching around this dude? It was like yesterday was just one of those days where it was like, dude, thank goodness there weren't like 10 p.m. games because I was pretty checked out of baseball by 10 p.m. So then I flipped over and I started watching season 3 of Tires. You guys haven't seen that yet? Good stuff, man. This one I thought was one of the better ones. Season 2 kind of felt like I wasn't really sure what it was all about in season 1. And then season 2 kind of felt like there was a lot of forced stuff. But by season 3, it seems like they found their groove. So anyhow, my point was the most disappointing play I had last night was I had a WNBA player. Man, this is how my day went yesterday. This is why, I'll preach it real quick and then we'll get into some plays here because you guys aren't here to hear me preach, but I'll be here to talk about discipline and consistency. I'm not a 3%, 4%, 5% guy. Frankly, I think that's scammy shit. Okay. And I've always said we're tip of the spear in trying to kind of redefine this gutter of an industry. The problem with 3, 4, 5% is what makes you like one versus the other. And people will say, well, if you don't bet 5%, you can't win long-term. That's not true. You go on big runs. You have sustainable streaks because you're a strong capper and your information is accurate. And that's how you build wins. Because if you have a day like yesterday and you put a couple 5%ers out there, it's Zappo. You're reloading the bankroll. We don't want to do that. We want to use the bankroll to buy higher quality things in life. So the other component I have with it is somebody might show you that they're up 10 units, but they're putting 5% plays out there, 3% plays out there. What's your record? What are you winning or are you losing in those spots here? I see you're up 10 units, but how many 5%ers did you win versus the hundreds of 3%ers you put out there and you lost on them, right? So I try to flat bet. I try to keep it consistent across the space here, but man, the one that hurt my feelings the most yesterday, if I could just take a second here to put my feet up on the old couch here, jump in and have my little daily therapy session. I found what I thought was really one of the best spots in WNBA yesterday. Okay. I kept the W. I'm pretty successful in the WNBA. One of the leaders across the industry here, as my winnable subscribers will tell you. Zandalazini. Cecilia is her name. Cecilia. How's that song go? Anyways, over 1.5 threes. It was a revenge spot against her former team. She shot more threes than anybody on the court. She had 9. She only got 1. That's how my day went yesterday. So anyways, you guys, we're here for some baseball and enough of the banter. Again, it's just me. My guy Shark has the day off. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown and then I'm going to enjoy a nice afternoon of got to do a little shopping. Got to put some bets in here. Cincinnati Reds game is going to pop off here in 20 minutes, though. So that is where we're going to start this card for Major League Baseball. And this is the big trend of the day. You guys want to be on point with this, okay? The Cincinnati Reds, the St. Louis Cardinals. They've been battled. Now, St. Louis won 3-0. What does a team do off a shutout? Well, they go back and fire. as we saw the case with Cincinnati coming back yesterday, destroying the under. So as it relates to this game, we got a coin flippy situation. These two teams are kind of meh. But what we have here is 66% of the bets, 67% of the cash coming in on the St. Louis Cardinals. That line's dropped. Okay. Kind of coin flippy open, pick'ems, 9.5. So we have seen some 8.5s out there. The best thing I can tell you guys about this game is you got to look at the Cincinnati Reds. There's a couple ways that I like to play this game. The Cincinnati Reds on the money line, plus 104. I think that's a really strong look. My concern with that look, though, is at this point in time in the season, you got some bullpen factors to contend with here. And the Cincinnati Reds bullpen is 25th out of 30 teams. Now, the gap's not that far from St. Louis. St. Louis ranks 20. So I thought the best way to attack it was the first 5. As a matter of fact, I laid down a minus 105 on the Cincinnati Reds. Just as I clicked it, it moved to minus 110. So there was some late action coming in for that 12:30 game in that spot. But I also think we see runs. So the thing about this one and why I look at the first 5 is it's the Brady Singer effect in this game. So Brady Singer, 16-0. Brady Singer spot here today. You got to recognize it. Now, the thing about this spot is Brady Singer, at home as a dog, barks. And he can't catch those wins if he doesn't have himself at least 5 innings of baseball where they're up. So I really like that first 5. I looked at the cost. The first 5 to lay the half a run was like plus 125. But the first 5 was just minus 105. So you're going to dog my guy Brady Singer in this spot. Now, the other component about this is Brady Singer's ERA at home is about 2 points higher. Or I'm sorry, 2 points better. 2 points better than Brady Singer on the road. So this is that confluence or convergence of opportunities here. And so as much as I there's the first 2 I like. I like the Cincinnati Reds first 5. I like the Cincinnati Reds full game here, but man, Brady Singer to catch the win is plus 215. And I think you'd be doing yourself a favor if you jump in on that. So I'll officially give you guys the Cincinnati Reds first 5 at minus 105, but Public Enemy says the other. He goes Cardinals in this thing. Shout out to Nick Handy. Shout out to all you guys rocking here, man. I know we're just a one-man band today, but it's okay. It's afternoon baseball. I want to give you guys those plays. And I thought that was a pretty fun game, all things considered, for a mediocre series. Now, the St. Louis Cardinals are still pushing. They're still fighting for a playoff spot. I don't have them graded very high to get there. So Ryan Mueller says, Mike is going to win us money. I hope so, dude. I hope so, man. There was just so many spots yesterday was just like, it was, I had some personal stuff going on too. So I was like, fuck, of all the things going on today, on top of that, I got to deal with this shit. But we live to fight another day. So there you guys go. Very curious your guys' thoughts. Shout out to Robert McCormick in the house. Appreciate all you guys tuning in, man. My guy Shark will be back tomorrow, day after his birthday. My man tore it up. I'll tell you that right now. The San Francisco Giants and the Cleveland Guardians. Talk about tearing it up. 1-0 game yesterday. Man, here's another one. Like, I try not to use recency bias too much here, but like I had the under and the Giants in the first game, and it just crept over and the Giants got smoked. And I kind of laid off it in the second game. Both those plays would have cashed. So I came back into this one and I thought to myself, well, what are we going to see here? We do have 2 pretty quality pitching matchups. By the way, when you look at the last game, I'm not a big pitching matchup capper, as I've told you guys before. I really don't give a fuck who's on the mound. I mean, unless you're doing a first 5, in that case, I do care that Brady Singer's on the mound. But it's also Michael McGreevy on the other side. So, I think that is a big advantage to the Cincinnati Reds. This matchup has Landon Roop and Gavin Williams. Of all the pitchers left for San Francisco, probably Landon Roop's the best guy that's out there. Gavin Williams sports in here with a pretty solid run himself. And so just full disclosure at how I capped the card. I'm just going to kind of, since it's just me, I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys about how I start capping the card here. What did I tell you about player props? When we get to 7.5, I go, shit. And the 7.5 is plus 115. So damn it, yesterday, man. What a great player prop we had with, who was it? I wrote it down. Now I can't find it. Oh, it was Cleveland's guy. And man, 6.5. He went all the way up the ladder. 10 plus strikeouts was plus 820 yesterday. Are we going to see the same thing here from Gavin Williams? 7.5 strikeouts. Maybe. Plus 115. Guy's got 190 strikeouts and 11 wins and 149 innings. And he strikes out 32% of the people he's up against, 11.5. So, look, I think you do have access. You know, it depends on if you're that player prop type of fella. I am. I like to get involved in some of those. But I played my player props with different, you know, you got to be disciplined across the sport. But I use a different unit management strategy for player props. I use a different unit management strategy for UFC. I use a different unit management strategy for preseason football. And then when we kind of get to the peak in the main spots out there, yeah, that's it. That's another one as well. So I just learned over time through tracking my process what, you know, pays the most. So the Gavin Williams strikeout prop, that 7.5 has moved to minus 110. 9 is plus 168. 10 plus 318. And then 11 is plus 600. Is he going to go out there and completely go nuclear and take an 11-20 at 12 plus? I wouldn't not take it at that point. Cleveland should bounce back. You know, I love that team off a shutout angle as well. It's a tough one because Cleveland is the playoff team and San Francisco's not playing for shit. The Giants against the AL Central, they're terrible. If you fade them, you're 19-7. So they don't match up very well here. And, you know, the favorite against the Giants in an afternoon start, or really a start before 7 p.m., they're just dominating. They just continue to smash. So I like the Guardians here, but because of all of the information I shared with you, now the 7.5s have come down to 7, right? Right now you got 7.5 to 7, even 6.5s out there. And you got 63% of the bets and 61% of the cash on the over. I don't know where those runs are coming from. 84% of the bets, 87% of the cash. By the way, the Cleveland Guardians were the biggest favorite on the card yesterday to take the L. Tough break there for Cleveland. The land, as my guy Ick says. He'll be doing racing with Razor here in just a few minutes. So when we're done, you guys can go on over and enjoy some horse racing this afternoon with our guy Ick Snizzle. But pitching duel, low scoring expectations, team off a shutout here. I got to go back to the San Francisco first 3 under a half a run. Cleveland Guardians first 3, by the way, minus 195. I think this is a great NRFI spot too. I mean, these are all pricey plays though. So instead of putting odds on there to nullify the juice or whatever you might look at, I just said, you know what? Pitcher's going to go out there and fucking mow everybody down. Then, shit. I don't know why my dentist is calling right now. I have a dentist appointment on Monday. It's today's date, Thursday. I don't know why they're calling. Anyways, I like the first 3 under. Give me that. I like Gavin Williams strikeout ladder, and I like the first 3 under a half a run. It was minus 115 this morning. It's 120 now, minus 125. So it's catching steam as well. Public Enemy says he likes that Guardians NRFI. Yeah, it was minus 125 or so. Jimmy, don't be a dick, dude. You know, like, you're not a member, first of all, which to me, no disrespect to anybody that's not a member, but like, we're coming out here giving you guys free content every day. And all you do is spew shit, dude. So, like, if you're not positive, then just take it down the street, dude. There's other shows to watch, you know? And you've said this a couple of times. So the reason I'm stopping to reference this is because this is going to be your last warning. We're not trying to build a sewer about cesspool and nonsense. You take that to the other channels, dude. Positive vibes, different lifestyle around this place, man. So appreciate you being here. Appreciate your conversation. Don't appreciate your attitude and don't appreciate you not being a member. Just some real talk, dude. So internalize that. You don't have to comment. You can if you want, but you don't have to comment. Just think about what I said and decide if you really want to be here or not. If you don't like somebody's content and their cap, then you can fade them. But dude's coming in here on a regular basis. All of us come in and prepared, ready to play, giving up information, sharing with you our thoughts and opinions. And the last thing we need is some keyboard warrior being a fucking scumbag, dude. So just real talk. Hopefully you can appreciate and respect what I'm saying with you, but you got two options. Keep it positive or take it down the road. You don't have to respond. I want you to think about it because that's frankly the lifestyle that we live around this place. As my guy JPC says, keep it positive, dude. We own our negative results. I just started off the show talking about shit in the bed. But the last thing we're going to stand for is non-members being scumbags. We don't like our members being scumbags either. But, part of the reason that the gold and platinum programming is in play, and it's going to continue, it's going to move in for more shows, is because of guys like you. You come in here and you bottom feed. You suck hole all the information off of what we're doing. And then if you do comment, which very rarely we get the comments, but if you do, it's just some fucking slanderous nonsense. So it's like, you know what? I know that Saturdays, I gave out 12 winners on the prelim show before I fired off 5 more winners on the main card show. And I was happy to do it. I would have moved the whole goddamn card because of guys like you. So I don't want you having information. I don't want you here, frankly, but I don't want you catching winners when we win if you can't be positive or at least keep it fucking tight when we're down. Okay. And I don't want you throwing slander at my guys. So now you know how I feel about that situation. So that being said, you guys, I like the San Francisco Giants under. I like the ladder. I think that's some fun. I just want to have some fun this afternoon, man. And I think of a fun spot, dude. The Toronto Jays. You got to kick it into play today. I'll give you guys a premium play that I gave out here. This is why I would prefer our guys that don't have good attitudes to just take it elsewhere. I gave out a premium play for Bieber strikeouts over, and I parlayed it with who did I parlay it with? Garrett Cole strikeouts over, and I got a plus 210. For whatever reason, I guess I shouldn't say for whatever reason. I know it's pitching matchup favored or batting matchup favored here, but Bieber's strikeout prop is 3.5. So I got 4 there and I got over 5.5 on Garrett Cole and I got plus money. We'll talk about that Yankees game in a few minutes, but look, Blue Jays had a tough one yesterday. They tried to come back. They got Seymour. Seymour's kind of had a roller coaster, recent form for Seymour. I'm not so in love with it. He did go 6 innings, but he gave up 2 homers his last game. Kind of called that one too, to be honest there. We had Baltimore and that was a good spot. They fired back, but I'm just looking at this game here. All this money coming in, right? 73% of the bets, but only 64% of the cash are on the Tampa Bay Rays. You know what I would do with this game? If you've got the opportunity for an up too early token, I would take it in this game. I can't see Toronto. I mean, look, I can see Toronto losing. I called it before. I said that this team's not. I mean, I still don't think they make the playoffs. We did say that we thought they would start to pop back. But, I'm just looking at this thing thinking the Jays minus 110 or dog. They're winning at 52% of the time. Doesn't suck. I take a 52% win rate at plus monies. You're making money. That's how you make money in this thing. Now, Shane Bieber, you talk about recent form with this pitcher. I want him to be better, but he went 6 innings, 5 strikeouts. He's not a big strikeout guy. He's more of a pitch to contact fella. So he had a 3 against Tampa the last time they played in Tampa Bay on top of that. So that was back on July 23rd, but only 3 strikeouts in that game. So I think that's why they benchmarked it at 3.5. Dude went 7 innings though. Respect it, man. I think Toronto can sneak this dub as the dog in this spot, win a finale after a big scoring game. They're 18-8 in those spots. So when the bats get uncorked, Blue Jays game 3 after a loss, they're 35-24. So that's where I look at the pitching edge, and I think Shane Bieber, Ian Seymour, this kind of gives me the tilt towards Shane Bieber and this team that really finished off pretty strong yesterday. The one guy I did remember, if you guys remember the show, I told you Alejandro Kirk was a young feller that I really enjoyed. And that dude ended up going yard, man. That's what the deal was. Shout out to our guy, Jay Peasy, my man in the house. He renews his membership and he gifts a sports money membership to help continue to grow this community. I got my first alcoholic beverage will be to you, my guy, Jay Peasy. But for now, you got to recognize the Poland Spring. But I appreciate you, man. That's where stopping the show. That's positive vibes. That gets us back on track, man. And that's my guy, Jay Peasy. Always banging back, sharing good plays, texting me with some good plays. Appreciate you, Jay Peasy. Man, you're a real one, brother. Patrick Collins says, good rules to live by. Don't go beyond your means. Ron Young says, well said. And Patrick Collins says, and don't be a dick. That's general good rule, right? General good rule of thumb. Give out the energy you want to bring back as it works out in this thing here. Public Enemy says, Rays, Jays over, and Caminero to get a home run today. Oh, man, JPZ, you put me right back on the right track, my brother. I appreciate you rocking with us there. I was feeling it, man. Now I got some good vibes. I don't mind that over. Dude, this series has been, problem with Shane Bieber and why he's got a bad rap right now and why the over's in play is because he does have that 8.27. So I can't get there with the over because I'm hoping that he stays under. But I'll still root for you. 9 Legacy coming in here with the Reds money line, the Giants money line, and the Jays money line. Just let's get it, baby. Let's go, you guys. That fires us up here. JPZ kicked this whole thing in gear, man. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's continue the show. Here's a series that I can't figure out. Honestly, I kind of feel like I wasn't really interested in the series. And with everything else that's been going on, I just stayed off it. So I like the Athletics. Kansas City snuck back to win. You probably got to go Royals. Just because against bad teams, the Royals are 16-7 on a Thursday. How about that? But they've lost 5 in a row. That's where I don't like this series. Like I was saying early in the year with the New York Mets, they're going to screw up a lot of like dashboards and stuff that I've built because they were so bad that like when you look at teams fading them, teams playing again, it didn't matter where they were losing so much. Not to disrespect anybody's Mets. We're not slandering. I'm just talking conceptually about the way that the algorithms and things get built is that you look at it and it's like this team sucks across the board. And so every metric's going to show fade them. So you have to pick and choose those spots. That's how I felt about the Kansas City Bats. And I take the Athletics as a dog versus Kansas City. Game 4 day games, believe it or not, even though they're getaway games, and a lot of people have this common thought process that it's like, we're just trying to get out of Dodge. If the game's before 6:00 and it's game 4 of a series, this is some real shit. This season, 65% of the time, the over is smashing. So all of my numbers, and sometimes it's okay, right? Sometimes you get to a spot where it's like, I got enough other action. I don't need to go in there and dig into this game. I liked Bobby Witt Jr. to get an RBI yesterday. He didn't. Shame on me for going back to the guy twice. I really don't have anything for you guys in this game. I want to have something on every game for you, but NRFI, both these teams suck. But the over cashes this year. So it makes sense that the over is cashing because I'm an under better and I've been taking totals in the chin. But you got Dubnik. Dubnik comes in 1.73 ERA. You got Jump Might as well jump. I'll tell you what, I'll sweat out a NRFI with you guys in this game. A NRFI is minus 117 at Bet Rivers. I guess that's it. In and out of this game? Okay. 2:10 p.m. though. We move onward, we move upward, and we move out to the Seattle Mariners and Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee, man. Appreciate you, JPZ. Rock and roll, man. We got to do that again. We got to get together again. That was fun. So, I got to play no one's going to like in this game. You're not going to like it. Got to look at the Seattle Mariners in this spot. I hate it. Series finale spot. It's game 3. Non-league opponent. Team's last game was away. Last 4 years. It's cashed 15 straight times. 15. It's in fact 15-0 today. Exist this opportunity. As long as the total is not 13. So as long as they're not playing at Coors or the wind blowing out at Wrigley for the most part, the Seattle Mariners line themselves up as that opportunity, and it's plus money. Now, Gasser, you look at the numbers and you say Gasser was over 5.5. Not mad. I like the under in this game as well. Robert Gasser's over 5.5 strikeouts is plus 125. Came back from the All-Star break. Kind of shitty, right? 3.33 ERA. 5 games, just kind of looking poor. But Seattle strikes out 24% of the time against lefties. Now remember, Seattle against righties, no bueno. Seattle against lefties, well, we're back in play. Milwaukee's been fucking scorching hot, though. So that's why I think Gasser has a shot. I don't want to K-prop his shit because I'm going to take the Seattle Mariners. In fact, if you've got that up too early token, I was trying to look at this. I told this story before that talking with some sharper bettors, listening to some podcasts and stuff like that. This goes back a few years. They were talking about the boost, and they talked about like, if they're going to add money to a play, you got to take advantage of it. So I used to always try to, and I still try to incorporate the boost player where the boost is going to be used. I used my up too early boost on the Seattle Mariners because I thought Gasser's strikeout prop was a little lower. He's not a righty, so that kind of gives Seattle a little edge. And if they can pop too early, I can cash out and I can move on. So that's what I did. So I like the Mariners. I think it's, like I said, it's Jorge Kirby. Seattle's kind of bucking the trend. So I talked a few minutes ago about the trends with the Mets and those systems. Seattle, with guys like Brian Wu and Jorge, these guys were so good at home, but so bad on the road. That's like an anomaly, right? So that's where I always talk about that shifting pendulum. These ace-type pitchers aren't going to continue to go. And I'm not saying they're due. It's just the law of large numbers. So from back in the day in the insurance side of things, where I would get involved and help companies manage their health insurance process, it was all about saying predictability. So, hang on. So there we go. So anyways, I think that bad pitchers don't stay, but well, there's bad pitchers. And there's situational spots where you want to get involved here. And I think this is a situational spot for this Seattle Mariners team. And frankly, when you look at it, problem, Milwaukee's got a great bullpen. So even after Gasser comes out of there, I still think the score stays intact for the under in this game. So anyways, that's how we're going to get paid. We're going to go with the Seattle Mariners. I shared with you guys some strategy, some insight around using your up too early promos if you have those options. All that stuff. So that's how I want to get paid, you guys. That's what we're going to do here. Afternoon baseball is going to be popping off here in just a few minutes. Braves and White Sox will keep us moving at another 2:10 p.m. spot. And you've got 51% of the bets, 67% of the cash. This might be the old trappy spot of the day. I'm going to tell you why the White Sox are the play for me here. It is Anthony K Day. And again, Anthony K is like what we talked about earlier there. Pitcher at home plays a lot better. That's Anthony K. Now, Holmes, recent form, not so excited. So I mean, this is one of those situations where you get kind of that unique situation where you've got current form pitchers in current situations. I kind of stepped back from all of that, though. I looked at this one from a travel spot for the Atlanta Braves. So series openers, when two teams are rested. We talked about this the other day. It cashed for us. It's 133-88 this year. Anthony K at home, 11-4. 7-3 run his last 10 games as well. I like the spot for Anthony K and the White Sox. When I talked about the schedule for the Atlanta Braves, you got to dig in a little bit here. So this team's kind of in a, you look at recency, they had that Minnesota Twins spot, right? 3 games on the road. They got swept for the second time all season. That's not a good look for them. 4-2, 4-1, 6-4, not scoring runs. This is a single game, a solo spot before they played Milwaukee. And the Brewers are 2 on the road. And then they got the travel spot for the, what is that? The Little League. I forgot what they call it. The Little League World Series game or whatever. Or no, the Little League, whatever the fuck it is. It's a Little League game. You know the Little League game. So that's going on Sunday. So this is a weird little transit situation where they go from at Minnesota, where they got swept for the second time in the season, little Chicago pit stop before they go at Milwaukee. And then even though 2 at Milwaukee, they got Mizorowski and Henderson. Then they go into that travel spot. It's a bad spot for Atlanta Braves. That's what it comes down to for me. And you get Anthony K at home. Even though Atlanta's got the better bullpen, heed what I suggest in this spot here. I think you take this Chicago White Sox team. And they just came off their south side, north side battle there, the battle of the little sister, but I prefer to take the White Sox. I prefer to get that money. Well, Jimmy, if it's been a good summer, my man, get out there and think about becoming a member and supporting what we're doing here. I don't like the attitude. But anyways, Mr. Weskers likes the -1.5 for the Braves. That'd be the only other way. I wouldn't take the Braves money. Well, I shouldn't say that. You know what's fucked up? I've recently noticed I actually like taking the home team with the -1.5. I started the season off saying like -1 on the home team because of that bottom of the ninth, but you get good money on those spots. So, anyways, Atlanta is the road team, but I just don't like this travel for Atlanta, especially kind of where they're coming on. Not to mention, dude, not just that Minnesota series, but they went 1-2 against Arizona at home to finish it off before the road trip. So they left on a shitty spot. They started their road trip on a shitty spot. This is like you're in and out of Chicago. You land, you got the 2:10 game. They're probably flying out at like 7 tonight, would be my guess. They're not even going to be like Chicago. They don't even care about this game. They got the Brewers. That's a big playoff-driven matchup on the line. So that's the deal there. That's how I like to play that game. Just my thoughts and opinions on all of these games, you guys here, but we got ourselves one right here. It is the Yankees, the Orioles, Huge money coming in on the Yankees, man. This might be the public trap spot of the day. This might be the absolute fire them up situation. 75% of the bets, 82% of the cash are on the New York Yankees. This line opened short, minus 119. Remember, I told you guys, especially for a public team like the Yankees, anything under minus 130 scares me a little bit. Although I'm not afraid to take it. But this line with everybody betting them went from minus 119 to minus 104. Now, I told you this is a leg of the parlay for me with the player prop. Garrett Cole. I get down with some Cole strikeouts. But you got Kyle Bradish on the other side. Kyle Bradish, by the way. So he came back from Tommy John. He's averaging 8.4 strikeouts per 9 innings through 24 starts. It's pretty fucking consistent. And so when you look at his strikeout props, 5.5, it's juiced to the over 5.5. 5.5 is minus 135. Can he get a quality start? Can he go out there and mow down a New York Yankees team that strikes out 25.1% of the time against righties? Yeah, I think so. I think you got to take Baltimore here. Live dog. Roof, right? I mean, look, 6:30 start. Cole is a road favorite over his career, his illustrious career. He's got a 41-23 win rate, right? 64%. But he's just 6-4 in his last 10. So I've talked before about some of these pitchers where the more they see the lineups, the better they're going to do as a good pitchers. But this guy's getting old, man. And the Orioles on a losing streak in game 3 are 34-16 the last 4 years. They've won 6 in a row. So they're finding a way to bounce back. On low totals, they do strike. Although the salary differential leads you to want to puke when you look at what the Yankees are paying for their wins. I love that money ball. You're paying this much for your win, and they're paying this much for their wins. I love that here, right? But look, 15-5 the last 7 years. Game 3 afternoon series. If they were at home their last 2 and they're on a 3-game losing streak, it's just one of those little situations where it's like, it's hard to go past 3. Sharp and I were talking the other day about Sharpie and I were talking Sharpov about pitchers, and some of these guys, they win in 3s and they lose in 3s, right? In those situations, though, that situation that I defined for you guys, it's 15-5 over the last 7 years on top of that. So historically speaking, it speaks to that situation. I'm telling you why I like Bradish. Maybe a little sell on Bradish here, or a little buy on Bradish. Now, again, first 5 dilemma, the number 1 bullpen in baseball, the New York Yankees. It goes Yankees, Padres, Brewers, Red Sox, Jays. Surprisingly, the Jays are right there, and that's why the Jays have a chance today. Shane Bieber goes 7. They only got to get this 5th best bullpen in baseball to go 2. Plus, then they threw their closer in there, Louis Verland, who's got a 1 ERA. It's a good spot for them boys. So, Baltimore's bullpen, middle of the pack, 16th. Their closer's on the IL, so, they bring in Cano, and he's not great. So that does concern me a little bit. Baltimore first 5. So you got plus 105 full game. Baltimore first 5, even money. I don't play the run lines anymore, you guys, or the plus a halves. I'll lay the half, but I'm not laying a minus 140. Like if Bradish is getting touched, what are the odds it's going to be an even push for the first 5? I would rather I'm not going to do this, but I would rather lay the half a run at plus 113 than take the half a run at minus 140. You know what I'm saying? Like I can, there's so much baseball. There's so much volume in baseball. I'm okay with pushing. Like if I start playing NBA or NFL, I get pissed about the push because there's not that many games. So it's like, I want to get my money where I can get my money. The under's a really strong look here too, because the Yankees and Orioles in Camden, at Camden since 2021, 30-13. So I like the Orioles in this spot here. I think they keep a lower scoring game. What do we got here? You guys are fired up in the chat now, huh? Non-Legacy says Mariners, Brewers. Mariners, money line, Braves run line, Baltimore money line. Mr. Wesker says Orioles just too banged up. Yeah, I like Pete Alonso today. Man, what a fucking robber for Pete Alonso. If you had 2+ home runs for Pete Alonso yesterday, I would imagine that fires him up to come back and stuff it. Phil the Kill says he's not scared to take a home team -1.5. He does it often. Okay. JPZ says weather in that game. In the Yankees game? Let me see. I just got real hungry all of a sudden. And it's going to be a long time till dinner. Wind is blowing out to the left around 7 miles an hour. 80% chance of precipitation in the afternoon. So there's a chance of a thunderstorm right now, but I don't know what that'll do come game time. Pete Alonso, by the way, just a 1.67 batting average against Garrett Cole. Ooh. I'd take a parlay. Ben Rice, RBI, Pete, what's that going to pay? Ben Rice, Pete Alonso, RBIs. Ben Rice, Pete Alonso, RBIs. Let me look. Just a one-man band today. Our guy Shark will be Ben Rice, +172. Our guy Shark will be back tomorrow. He has his birthday yesterday. They were out late night celebrating. Boy, both these dudes are +171. 172 for Ben Rice, +171 for Pete Alonso. And if you parlay them, it's +500. I know it's an under spot, but damn, man. And the reason I like Ben Rice is because he's throwing a 400 out there against Kyle Bradish. I like Pete Alonso a lot today to get an RBI, especially after yesterday. I don't like playing RBIs in games where there's unders projected. But anyways, Mr. Wesker says he feels like he has a birthday every other month. Did he? I'm pretty sure last night was it because he was fucking ripped up. Usually I'm up later. Shout out to our guy, Shark. Hope you had a great birthday. Nationals and Texas Rangers. 2 games left on the card, you guys. This is a great opportunity to remind you, as my friend says, you can backdoor the show. If you haven't hit the like and commented yet, it's not too late. We still got 2 games left. We'll break these down like a pound, and we'll get back to the action and get things fired up. Natties and Rangers. Look, it's Jacob deGrom on the bump. Yes, I was happy yesterday. Sometimes I looked at this before. I told you guys I like to find it if I can get my spot. Do I need to keep going back to it like a fucking ATM? I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's late at night and you want to throw the "you up" text around there. I get that, but listen. It's Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom in this spot. Now, I told you guys the other day, surprisingly enough, my estimation is that the Nats were done. They were cooked. And I did fire on the Nats yesterday for the first 5. Now, they, say what you will about their bats, but they shut out the Rangers. And I love my teams off of shutouts. I wonder if you just blindly played teams up. I'd have to go back and look. What was the next day's results after a team got shut out the previous day in baseball? I bet you it strikes, except for I bet you the one team that's losing just off the cuff. The one team I think that would be losing in that situation. I bet you the Astros are the one team that loses in that situation. I'll have to try. I don't know if I got time to look at that. I'll try. I don't know if anybody can look at that. I'd love to see the numbers. Teams off of a loss the following day's results in baseball. This year, last year, whatever sample you can dig up. I don't need to see 10 years ago, just like the last couple. Jacob deGrom is a fucking dragon slayer. And he don't care if you're just a little toad either. 17-0 when he's in the favorite role and shot less than 84 pitches. As long as it didn't have like an extended rest period in between, right? So 53 pitches, 2 innings, his last start against the Los Angeles Angels. He's come back and dominated. When they dominate, they're winning by almost 4 runs a clip. Now, I don't like his to get the win spot. It's only plus 120. So it's all but telling you Jacob deGrom should go out there and get this W, right? Pitcher wins. Oh, I guess not really. I guess it's plus 215. All right. Well, that just became in play. Fuck it. You know? Rangers are also fighting for their playoff lives right now as well. So they do need a big start out of this guy. With that margin, I like it. See, because what I was thinking originally, I was thinking lay the run line, lay the 1.5. 1.5. I mean, look, shit, you could lay 2.5 and it's plus 195. I thought yesterday's, I talk a lot about the law of large numbers, right? Yesterday's result for the Nationals was an anomaly to me. That wasn't, the Cardinals are up 1-0 already. Fuck. It's not what we want to see. It's all right. What's the live line? That's how I look at it. Plus 128 for the Reds now. They haven't even swung a bat yet. I'll wait. So minus 1.5 plus 123. 2.5 plus 184. 3.5 plus 281. And they're the home team. All right, I'll play a little bit of the ladder game, and I'll take some deGrom to get the win. I thought it was an anomaly, these bats. And then, when you start looking at the lineup specifically, Alvarez does have the slightest of slight advantages in the fact that he's never seen any of these. The only guy that he's faced off against is Brandon Nimmo. He does have the lefty advantage, and the Texas Ranger bats, nobody, well, Justin Foscue is hitting over 300, but everybody else is pretty much, I guess Elias Diaz is as well. They're middle of the road against lefties. deGrom's the righty, but deGrom's shutting down lefties. They got 4 of them in the lineup for the Nationals right now. So, all right, fuck it. Let's ladder it up. Let's ladder it up to 4.5. What's the 4.5 look like? By the way, when I do these ladders too, guys, like one unit goes on the run line, the minus 1.5. Then a half a unit goes on the 2.5, and then quarter units everywhere up the ways. So plus 400, 407 on minus 4.5 for Texas. The book won't let me go past 5.5. That's plus 581. I'll take it up to 4.5. Plus 407. That's just a little unit management. I told you guys there's a lot of numbers within the numbers, right? So it's not just one unit here, one unit. I'm not putting one unit on minus 4.5. I'd love to get that return, but sometimes you got to look at to win your unit as opposed to risk your unit. You know what I'm saying? Quarter unit to win a unit. Like if you're $100 better and it's plus 400, $25 gets you that full $100. Yeah, $100 gets you $400, but like it's risk reward, right? We're trying to grow the bankrolls here so that we can fire and stab away tomorrow and into football season. So a little stratagem, a little theory within this theory. Shout out to Philly Eagle Flyer. He's got 10 jewels in the game, man. He says 10 jewels. Says gold coin, baby. Let's go. Shout out to you, Philly Eagle Flyer. He likes tied after 2 innings in the Guardians, Royals, and White Sox and Rangers. There's a 4-pack for you. JPZ likes to blindly fade deGrom and cash more often than not, but the Nats have packed it in, not fading him today. Agreed. Jay Main says Nats minus 1.5 last night was good money. It sure was. What did that pay? I'm curious what that paid. I just had that first 5. I had that one in the Angels though, so I pretty much middled them. Fucking Angels blowing it in the 5th inning. Speaking of the Angels, that brings us to our last game. We made it. How about that? We're keeping her within the context of the time frame here. Well, I didn't expect to be rolling with you guys this long. I always have fun coming on here, kicking it with you guys. I'll have some football plays for this evening for preseason football. I've got my NFL futures. I'm going to finalize them today, and I probably release them either tonight or tomorrow. So you can stay tuned for those over on Winnable as well. In fact, catch all my plays over on Winnable here. Had a tough week this week, so we're trying to bounce back and fire up, load it up down the stretch here, but football's right around the corner. WNBA has been banging. NFL preseason had a nice little mini sweep on Saturday. we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're hanging in there. We're going to have probably, I got a soccer play that I like for this afternoon as well. We cashed our soccer play yesterday. So you can find all that action at winnable.com/Mikey Money. And if you guys use promo code NY2026, gives you 35% off. Essentially, you buy 2 months, you get one free. I would suggest you buy 6 months. That way you ride with me through the NBA, the NHL. You know, there's a lot of winners out there in the NHL. I won't mention names, but I'll tell you this. I think we went up, 85 units in hockey like 2 seasons ago? Something like that. Man, the phone calls I got. The text messages. What is it? Can you help winning cappers that we all know and respect, reaching out, asking about, what is it you're doing? How are you doing that? Where did you find that? Now 2 years ago, young Mikey Money was eager to share until everybody took all the credit. Now I'm like, fuck it. You can go get my plays. I'm not going to tell you how I got there. I'll tell you guys how I get there though, because we will have some fall lineups coming. Them fall lineups will consist of a lot of good stuff, actually. Be back. We'll have the 5 o'clock show back as well. I'm pretty sure it'll be 5 or 6. I didn't like 6. If I was just getting out of work, I'd already be home by then. So, I think 5 o'clock we'll go back to that show time frame. Do a last call. I might call it last call again just to say, fuck those people that took my name. Because that's how I roll. Jimmy says, what do you think of the call on the Alonso foul ball home run last night? I think it sucks for anybody that had 2+ homers. That's what I think. I like them, the cash versus the bookies. But the Angels and the Astros, you guys, will wrap her up here. I'll finalize some best bets with you guys, and then we'll get back out of here and start our Thursdays. Thursdays are connected to Friday, so the weekend is right around the corner. Angels and Astros, 86% of the bets, 92% of the cash are on the Astros. The Angels, 3-2 loss yesterday, leading in the first 4, blew it in the 5th, 88.5 on the total, 43% of the bets, 70% of the cash on the over in this game. Pitching wise, well, Lambert and G-Rod. Can't back G-Rod. Fact. Not going to do it. Wouldn't do it with your money, even if I could do it. How can you not like Yordan Alvarez? Problem with that is he's pricey. So, the thing for me with this game, the Astros are one of them teams. I would take, I don't like backing unders and pitching props, but I would take Rodriguez to go under. Just from a numbers perspective here, he's not even going 5 innings. So he's got a 1.59 whip and he's not going 5 innings. So if he gets less than 1 strikeout per 5, you cash, right? That's kind of how I looked at it. I mean, the Astros should bounce back. I like them. They're kind of struggling right now, though. They had that big series win against the Rangers to kind of cement themselves in playoff position, take the top of the division here. But, Texas is 2 games behind them. Seattle's 4 games back. If Seattle wins and Texas wins, which I suspect they will, doesn't matter what Houston does in this game. Now, they won 3-2. They lost 3-1 the day before that. They got 2-1 loss in the series against the Mariners. They just seem like they're a little gassed right now. I don't like to traditionally back a team that's in the gas bag situation here, but you know what I did yesterday, and I'll do it again today. I'll take that first 5 under. It was a nice play yesterday. Under 4.5, minus 104 for Houston. I'll take the G-Rod under 5.5 Ks. Or what did I say? 4.5 Ks was plus 100. That'll do it. Smack that thumbs up button if you guys haven't done so already. Appreciate all you guys that are here rocking with us. You know the deal. My man X Dizzle's racing, covered for our guy Razor Sharp, who's on vacay. We hope he's enjoying his vacay. We're all going to get back and get serious but got to finish off the summer with some family fun. So we'll get the best bets in just a second. If you haven't smashed that thumbs up button, give it a crack for me. We'll review, we'll recap, we'll get back after it. All right, you guys. Appreciate everybody that tuned in today. My man Shark will be back tomorrow. I'm going to take that first three team total under a half a run for San Francisco. That was minus 120. I'm going to ride that ladder with our guy at that Cleveland Guardian spot as well. I like that here. 9 plus 168. 10 plus 318, 11 plus 600, 12 plus 1120. I already told you about my unit strategy with regards to plus 150 for the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to take that NRFI in that KC game. That's minus 117. I'm on the Mariners. They're plus 127 right now. Seattle Mariners plus 127. The White Sox are plus 100. Going Baltimore. Plus 101. Jacob deGrom, we're going to ride the ladder in that one. We're going to go all the way up to minus 4.5 at plus 407, and deGrom to catch the win at plus 215. And the first 5 under 4.5 in that Angels and Astros game. That will do it, you guys. On the button here, an hour and 2 minutes. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. If you guys are checking us out live, we appreciate you being here at 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you're catching us on the replay, appreciate you guys being here as well. Make sure you do go out there, hit a comment for us post-show. We love the comments. That really helps tremendously grow the program and continue to market the Sports Money Network across YouTube and other social media spaces. So if you could go in after the show, tell me which of the dogs do you like the most today? Let's see if we can all find a way to get paid together. It's us versus the bookies, you guys. We're building this positive community here. Lots of fun, lots of good work going into this thing. So appreciate everybody that comes in here on a daily basis. On behalf of my guy Shark, the birthday boy, and everybody else here at the Sports Money Network, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 12 p.m. Bases.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.